Picture this, sanctuary totally trashed. Bodies everywhere. One guy's glowing like a glow stick, casting magic on the floor. Yelling, "Yo! Anyone out there? Speak up if you're alive. Can't talk? Just twitch a toe." He's begging, draining his mana, thinking, great, just me left. Suddenly, a weird reflection hits his eye. A voice booms. Behold the guy who organized the demon carpool from hell. Flushed humanity down the toilet, the high priest. Meanwhile, silver hair chants nonsense, grabs a baby from a demon's paws, and yeets it to safety. See, in this war against demon land, the White Tower wizards went all in on this guy to save the future. Seriously, nobody else could have pulled off that win. Then this lady crashes the bloodbath going, for your information, April 28th, 3:12 p.m., I confirm the high priest is toast. Wizards like, oh, Edna. The last dragon. And the universe's history blogger, Edna Solace. She tells the boss she's got good news and bad news. Mage says, give me the bad stuff first. So Edna goes, okay. Demon army wrecked the tower. Your wizards are gone. It's bad. Your squad and their homework, up in smoke. Boss asks for good news. She says, Imperial army arrived sooner than expected. They're saving the leftovers, students included. Guy coughs up a lung, says that's a relief. Edna asks, regrets about class today? He goes, nah. Claims since he mentored that one kid, he can't look weak. Edna asks for last words. He asks, can you check my students sometimes? They're young and way too hype. Edna's like, sure, I'll babysit. He gets snarky. Wow, a dragon taking orders from a human. Dragon says, true, but we won't forget what your tower gave up. Man goes, well, duh. Then admits, okay, lying, I have regrets. Best mage? Yes. Worst manager? Also yes. If I respawn, I don't care if I'm the villain. I just want to live for me. Forget students, he wanted the chill life. Edna closes his eyes. Okay. At 3:47 p.m. I confirm White Tower boss, Oscar Sage, has logged off. High Priest took out tons of mages, including level 9 legend Oscar, who died in the chaos. Scene switch. Breeze hits a huge tower. Black-haired guy asleep, white-haired guy watching him. Leaf brushes the sleeper's hand. He springs up like a toaster pastry, slapping blue hair smack in the kisser. Blue hair splashes water everywhere, shrieking, I'm drenched, bro. Was just swapping your gross towel cause you wouldn't wake up. So annoying, not even a THX for playing nursemaid? Dude stone-faced. I passed out? Thought I croaked. Get this, he was 100p convinced he was toast. Blamed the priest for piercing his heart, tried to speak, but nah. Angry blonde guy barges in, screaming about him being up. Blue hair goes, yo, take a chill pill. He's been conscious for, like, 5 mins. Old dude tells Frank to buzz off so he can tear into him. Oscar Sage is just, hold up, why ain't I a corpse? Elder flips out, mocking him, oh, surprised you made it? While Oscar's brain goes, yup, White Tower mage. Demands the tea, stat, the whole 9 yards. Old guy parrots him, peeved to explain. He stomps up, ready to knock heads, yelling at him to start begging. Oscar ignores the shade like, so, that ambush? Demon assassin? My wind shield usually blocks everything. Should've turned the guy into a wet noodle. Dude was a scrub who clearly didn't think it through, so why'd my shield just fizzle out? Talk about an epic fail. Elder waves it off, shield was fine, I haven't been lazy, rambles about filing disciplinary reports on research and tells him to just heal up. Frank's all, yeah, scramble, Gramps. Thinks Oscar's lost it, while our boy shakes, thinking the shield poofed instantly, panicking about how long he napped. Frank shrugs, that's just Elder Maxim being extra. Meaning he's toast. Oscar scans his mana circles. Capacity, purity, total trash. Desperate to know what's wrong with his bod. So he asks the big question, what's the date? Frank goes, September 21st, you were just out cold. Oscar gasps, 5 months? Frank stares, what you on about? It's been, like, 1 day. Oscar sighs, whatever. Get Lloyd on the horn. Or Gilly, or Sasha. Someone knows what went down. Frank's like, whoa, pause. Forget those snakes. Gets salty, asking why he's tight with the Tower Master. Wonders if Oscar's memory is fried. Cause flash, Lloyd ditched us to fanboy for the Red Tower. And Gilead Dominic? Jacked a rare book and dipped. Oscar spots Frank freezing up like his controller died. He processes the Sasha is boss news like, wait, how's a 5-year-old running this server? His pal goes, bro, You're skipping the 20 years she lived pre-reboot. Mage thinks, folks are tripping, starts wondering why. Stress over a tot? Then he catches a weird reflection in the glass. Brain goes, who's that random? Then it clicks. Hold up. No shot. A solid 20 years zoomed by since he good gamed. World got a glow up, neon lights everywhere, magic whips driving themselves. Total Magi tech overhaul. Guess everyone loved the update, considering they rage quit during the apocalypse. Checking the new avatar's stats. Oscar Crucian, drafted by the tower at 10, now 20. Level 1 noob from a flop noble house. 20 years old and still level 1? Major cringe. Tried to speedrun leveling with sus alley juice and got insta-wrecked. Logic kinda checks out. If it worked, he'd be OP, but holding contraband is risky. Plus the mana explosion hazard. Yet his bod felt glitchy. Check the logs, way too much power for a rookie. Top tier, premium mana flow. Was it the sus drink? Then blood drips. The heck? Black slime hits the floor, sizzling into nothing. Eyes pop. Venom? Why's that in me? Then, epiphany. He figured out the plot twist. The elixir wasn't the issue. Legit ones cost gazillions the kid didn't have. The real tea was that poor. Oscar drank straight toxins without knowing. Massive dose too. Didn't die from a power surge. But got murked by enough poison to wipe 10 noobs. If I hadn't respawned here, nobody would know. Clenching a fist, Oscar stands. Don't know who's playing Sims with my soul, he mutters. But I scored a bonus life. Pre-death, he vowed to do him. Not a bad spawn point. Thanks for the skin, Oscar Crushin'. I'll get your get back. Elsewhere, Aeon pings the boss. Update from the shop. Boss snaps, watch your tone. Minion apologizes. Boss demands the tea. Spill. Guy says a mage wrecked the store from the inside. Boss chucked his drink. A wizard? For real? Who? Minion mumbled about some guy hunting the potion seller. That nerd Oscar? Boss cackled. Get real. Kid's a total dweeb. Zero combat skills. Minion panicked. What if the white tower's onto us? Boss glared. Forgot who paid for the hit? Dude flashed a legit wizard ring. Voice chimed in. Wow, subtlety isn't his vibe. Minion spun around. Who's there? Kid hopped the window, strutting in like he owned it. Asterisk, follow the stink here. Big turnout. Asterisk, boss snarled, you the punk who trashed my spot? Oscar smirked. Guilty. But please, keep chatting. I was loving the gossip. Don't stop now. Boss scoffed. Playing dumb? Get him, boys. Goon charged, swinging a rusty blade. Mage sighed. Okay, let's get this over with. Wrist flick. Wind blade, instant sashimi. Dude's head hit the deck, game over. Wow, super easy. Boss screamed, Bart. Aimed a piece, cursing. Asterisk bang bang bang, asterisk. Oscar blinked. Okay, that's a new toy. Shield up. Weird, zero mana involved? Curious what kind of science project goes pew pew. Boss yelled, he blocked M. Yo, what do you call that pea shooter? Cool name, sending him back now, catch. He flicked the bullets right back at him. Hits landed hard. Dude dropped, cursing up a storm. Oscar walked over. Room's muted. Scream all you want. Boss sputtered, how's a noob? Casting pro spells? Oscar shrugged. This? Just a mute button. Anyway, who paid you to turn me into Swiss cheese? Boss told him where to stick it. A boot to the face shut him up real quick. Wow, choosing pride over breathing? Bold move. Then the pain spell hit, total agony time. Oscar hacked his nervous system with wind magic. Felt like 1,000 needles partying inside him. I'm bored. Spill the tea, dude. Guy cracked. Make it stop. I'll talk. Cool. Snap. Torture over. Now, dish on your boss's boss. Goon said a mystery client gave cash and juice to sell you cheap. Naturally, they took the bait. Oscar goes, describe the creep. Dude says he was rocking a hood. Face invisible, but he flashed a white tower ring, bling style. Oscar raises a brow. Asterisk yeah, nice try, buddy. Asterisk, total fake out to trick a newbie. But the goon swears, nah, dude smelled like straight up peppermint. That's all I got. Cool, Oscar says, and the post-murder plan was? Boss sighs, White Tower's been a flop since getting booted from the Big Four club. Figured nobody would care enough to snoop. Hold up, Big Four? Oscar blinks. Boss looks sideways. Isn't that common knowledge? Brain freeze from the potion, Oscar lies smoothly. Totally forgot. Whatever, boss says. Just grab the docs. Rummages in a drawer. Here's your info dump. Oscar muses, asterisk so, it all circles back to the White Tower, asterisk. April 28th is White Night cause a high priest kicked the bucket. Worst tower ever, planning a massive reveal that day. Oscar recalls the archives. Their magic game was notoriously weak sauce. Remembering Edna's warnings, he barks, spill the tea. What's the deal with these 4 magic squads anyway? West Yellow Tower runs the power grid. Spark the Magi tech hype, built crazy gadgets. South Blue Tower handles water, crops, and brews. And the Red Desert Tower out east? Military grunts. They squash monsters for a living. And the White Tower? Oscar prods. Boss shrugs. Delivery boys. Oscar gapes. Say what? You mean like Wizard Amazon Prime? They fly, bro. Fastest shipping in the game. You gotta be kidding me, Oscar mutters. Imagining mages zooming around like caped weirdos. Rulers of the sky, cooler than dragons apparently. Oscar rubs his temples too. Ask whose bright idea this was. New Tower Master, boss says. Asterisk that little rascal, asterisk Oscar thinks. Asterisk my kid, asterisk. He pivots to the farming and water chat, wondering why potions aren't the cash cow. How'd Blue Tower snag that monopoly? Dude explains Blue crushed the potion scene. Oscar recalls White Tower crashing hard after losing their secret recipes. Boss adds, now they just peddle fancy. Water at crazy prices and do rain dances for dry spots. Who buys plain water? Oscar frowns. Rich folks love that trendy junk. Oscar seethes. Asterisk clowning around for spare change? Asterisk. People would rather chug well water. The White Tower? Total meme versus the others. No cap. The other towers were popping off. This fest was their final YOLO move. Boss roasts Oscar's wrecked bod. Mage thinks he's gonna flatline from shock and leaking ketchup. Oscar figures. The tea was hot, so maybe save the dude? But then, recalls his rap sheet, arson, smuggling, mugging, folks for cash, and ordering permanent bans on people. Decides the guy's trash. Yeets himself out the window. Peace. Mid-air, he yells, re-roll a nice character next life. At the tower, he flops into a room, whining he's dead. Shocked that noob spells drained his battery and asks what discount body this is. Can he even cast the ultimate combo? The OP magic that crowned Oscar Sage the G.O.A.T. Wizard, the Wind Archive. It glitches out, he groans, ugh, feature locked. Gotta patch this hardware first. Starts a scan to download data as soon as possible. Memory files were corrupted, even with Frank's cheat sheet. But he needed the full 411 on Oscar Cruin so this meat suit wouldn't crash. Heir to Count Kusien, sole survivor of a crazy mansion blaze. Magic World called him a prodigy. Hype was real, everyone wanted him. In 6 years, he hit the academy. Ace theory, flunked the rest, dropped a fire thesis, so it was clear he was a genius. But why was he stuck at level 1? Turns out, RNG hated him. He had mana deficiency syndrome, despite legend tier potential. Oscar mumbles, mana deficiency syndrome? Huh? If true, explains level 1. Big brain, 0 casting skill. Oscar checks the completed scan. Views the logs and spots a glitch. No deficiency here. Oscar gasps, not a bug. Someone slapped a magical band hammer on his circuits. Real deficiency means your battery won't charge. Even with 20 circuits, you're capped at level 3, no signal. So yeah, Oscar Cruin was a different beast. Hardware wasn't broken at launch. Someone hacked the system on purpose. If he was such a nerd, he'd have known he wasn't sick. Would have been clutch if he blogged that. Like, Dear Diary, I got nerfed, lol. Frank said Oscar was a drunk. Was he just LARPing a loser? Like, he knew someone bricked his drive and played the angsty brat role for kicks. If that's legit, it explains why he downed that sketch potion. I mean, in that spot, trust is at 0. No cap, OG Oscar had to break chains. Me? I just plug stuff in and it's go time. I stumble on one of Oscar's books and it's marked up crazy, hacking basic magic. So I read it and whoa, seeing stuff from a wild new angle. Notes say wind paths are a total snooze and that windshield, a defense spell, could totally wreck face if you track how weapons fly. I'm like, yo, his hack shield concept? Basically my vibe, way different from the shield up and pray strat. Plus, he wrote a whole guide on Yusin. It whenever, and invented tons of basic spells himself. Couldn't cast zip, but ran every sim in his brain. Now I get the genius tag, legit. We're vibing on the exact same theory frequency. Freyr, this book proves he never ghosted magic. Grinded harder than anyone. Passion's loud AF here. Last line says he hopes this book vibes through the White Tower breeze, From a mage facing his final boss. I realize he knew it all, but still trudged through the muck solo. I whisper, Oscar rocks getting up. Kid was a legend who never quit even with a trash hand. Walk that lonely road. I crash on the couch and swear on my title as the 17th master that I'll fix his mess. Bonus, the jerks who clipped him are gonna pay. Next, I'm wandering a greenhouse like how'd I get here? Then it hits me, oh right, I blacked out from exhaustion after DIY magic surgery on my circuits. But then someone yells for their master. Bam, I'm old sage Oscar, chilling with students. Ugh, dream curse again. Some creep from the Nightmare fan club cursed me to binge watch my past when I sleep. Hope the curse got lost when I swapped bods, but nah, things super glued to my soul, not just the meat suit. Still, wondering if it's a low-key blessing. Cause dreams of my students are 4K clear, not just sappy flashbacks. Kids ask what teacher would say, and I'm there, explaining magic. While it's all same stuff, it's split into flavors, boost, speed, balance, etc. Lloyd jumps in. That white tower is harmony vibes. Master's like, yup, wind rules. Sasha asks if every tower is snobby about their magic type, and Oscar explains. So here's the tea, certain magic types just vibe way better with specific towers. The golden tower peeps have 0 chill and need speed, so they main acceleration. The red tower is totally obsessed with fire, so naturally, they rock enhancement, while the blue and white squads are just keeping the peace with the balance type. Gilead is basically yelling that he better get acceleration. Magic cause slow stuff is the absolute worst. And Oscar's like, tough break, kid, you don't get to pick, it's RNG, you're born with it. Sasha wonders how you're supposed to know what stats you popped out with. Her teach says it's easy peasy, just point your finger and do the magic thing. The girls are like, literally my first time. Might take a hot minute, but master is chill. She casts and goes, whoa, it's glowing. Oscar tells her, boom, that's the harmony type. Shorty gets hype, asking if she's twinning with her master, and he gives a big yes. She beams, totally loving it. Then Juliet tries, and master says just like he whined for its acceleration. The little dude hits a victory dance while his master calls for Lloyd. Sasha gasps at the pretty flower, and Oscar explains it's a special build. Lloyd asks if he can, re-roll this once it's locked in. His master is like, bruh, that's a crazy rare drop found in less than 1% of mages. Why on earth would you trade it? The kid says he'd rather have the boring balance type to match his master. But master starts mumbling, wondering what to do since he planned tons of private lessons for Lloyd. What's the point if he swaps builds? The kid's ears immediately perk up. Did you say private lessons? Master nods, yep, special types need way more one-on-one grinding. Just like that, the kid decides special isn't so bad, but he demands a promise. So, they seal the deal with a pinky swear. Oscar thinks about that little schemer Lloyd, basically Mr. Let's make a deal. Acting all grown up, but still just a brat at heart. Suddenly, the wall radio crackles, blasting a page for all mages. Message from radio room. We're looking for the mage Oscar Crushin'. Get to lab 4202. He groans. With 8 circuits left, how long was he out? On top of that, when he finally unlocked his mana, he got 2 tiny lines. Level 2, pathetic. He thinks, who in their right mind celebrates hitting level 2? Then Elder Maxim shows up asking how. He's vibing since Frank said he looked like a zombie earlier. Oscar walks up and agrees while the elder nods. He thinks, this elder is actually my junior. Yep, Elder Maxim Bisk is a spring chicken at 45 years old. Oscar remembers how Maxim joined the tower way after him, but now the guy looks ancient and holds rank. Still, he was a straight shooter and worked his tail off, so he did okay. Guy used to follow him like a lost puppy, calling him senior. Future tower boss. Honestly, seeing him sweat over ancient spells was kinda cringe but cute. Maxim clocks his grin and asks what's hilarious, then flips the switch to serious mode. He got intel on Gordon's fam. Dude was panicking like it was doomsday. Maxim probes for more deets, but Oscar plays dumb. Claims 0 clue why the guy croaked, even though the dude totally tried to punch Oscar's ticket to the afterlife first. Potion was toxic, plus some sus back alley deals to get him whacked. Maxim's like, is that the reason? Oscar's like, yep. Tried to chat, but they wanted me skewered. Claims the cash was 100% clean. Contracts prove it. Maxim just goes, bet. Self-defense, no sweat. Oscar thanks him, then begs the old guy for a solid, meeting the tower boss. Elder shuts his eyes. Easy enough. He's got a magic geek out scheduled with her anyway. Oscar thinks, man, I was her favorite nerd. Then, the bad news. Wait time? 6 months. Kid is shook. That's literally the night before the fest starts. Maxim says she's away on a major gig. Oscar's just confused why the boss is doing grunt work. Some noob dropped the ball? Pathetic. He figures. Some slacker forced Sasha to go. Sorry to pry, but what's her level? Maxim says level 7. Boy scoffs. At her age, he was already level 9. She's lagging. With her talent? Should be level 8, minimum. Elder says they'll file it. So, blasting stuff again lately? Oscar shrugs. When I feel like it. Elder waves him off. Alright, scram. As the kid bounces, someone else rolls up. Maxim asks, Sup, Mr. Vice President? Hamel Glimwitz says, easy on the kid. Adds, missed him. Elder replies, he messes up, he gets roasted. Hamel's like, true, but I scouted him. I got a soft spot. Knowing basic spells take days, but the kid's secretly grinding. He calls Oscar a sneaky brat for hustling harder than he admits. Hamel says let's dip to the meeting. Fidelina's probably raging by now. Oscar zooms to floor 10, thinking. He dreamt of his students. Place is a ghost town. Gardner walks up. Gardner says, well, look at young Master Oscar. Boys like, new phone, who dis? I'm Wilter, the facility manager here. Guess the rumors about Oscar's reboot were real. They used to vibe constantly. Oscar's like, so, how wild is the gossip getting? And what's with the young master tag? Wilter says he's been here since OG Oscar Sage ran things. Kid shook. Slick way to tell us apart. I'ma steal that. Then asks if they can still vibe. Wilter passes. Says it's a no-go cause he's retiring for good. Kid asks what the plans are. Gramps goes, been stuck here for 40 years. 3 bosses, revolving door staff, but I'm the last man standing. Why'd he stick around? Cause OG Sage said at a ceremony, every single person here matters. Oscar coughs. Gramps goes, sounds cheesy, I know, but from then on, I busted my hump, feeling like part of the squad. Kid says, nah, not cheesy. Old man just smiles. Anyway, I'm done. Oscar asks what he means. Gramps is like, look, kid, tower's broke, gear is trash. The piggy bank is hitting 0. And get this, next month hits my 40-year mark. Oscar jumps in. The long service bonus? Where staff minus mages get a medal and cash. Yeah, for year 20 and 40, you're due 200,000. Wilter sighs. Yeah. We're so broke we can't even pay attention. To pay me, folks would have to take suicide missions. Can't have that on my conscience. Whatever anyone says, this place is home. Oscar thinks, man, didn't know it was that deep. Azure Tower does shady stuff for cash, but who am I to judge? They're cashing in. Meanwhile, what do I have? Fancy titles. War hero, savior of humanity, cool on paper, but 0 cash for decades. Wilter snaps him out. Hey, why you crushing your hand? Oscar asks, so, when you bailing? 2 weeks. Tells the kid to treat that cut at the infirmary. But Oscar fires back. Hoped we'd be buds. You ain't leaving, I'll fix it. Thanks. Okay, need a get rich quick scheme. Like yesterday. Make bank so this never happens again. But how? All I do is research, read, and run missions. Big problem if the payout lags, and I'm just a level 2 mage. Need big bucks. Brewing potions is my only shot. Flipping the paper. It clicks. He remembers something. At the Vice Masters, Elder Fidelina is fuming. Can't let this slide. Blatant fraud. Maxim tries to speak. Nah, fam, that ain't it. But Pops interrupts. Wrong how? Old dude stays chill. The perp's in timeout thinking about his life choices. Fidelina rolls her eyes. You letting him walk? Stealing's a slippery slope, yo. Maxim waves her off. Chill, sis. Don't stress it. Ain't nothing here worth swiping anyway. She gets all salty. You fight me on everything. Just yeet the kid into solitary. But the old man shakes his head. Bro, that's wild. He's a level 1 noob. That's overkill. Hamel jumps in. Max is right, solitary's too hardcore. It'd wreck the kid's vibe. Instead, let's make him cough up triple the cash he took. The elder snaps. Only triple? That ain't nearly enough loot. Seeing the drama, Hamel pivots real quick. Speaking of cash, we're broke. Empty rooms, 0 funds, need a plan, as soon as possible. Sell the potion gear? We could eat for like 3 months. But Hamel shuts that down instantly. Not happening. She yells at the Vice Master, but he stands his ground. This is a magic tower. We're here to learn spells, not sell out. Can't just rage quit and close up shop. Can't pawn our future just cause we're hungry today. Pop sneers, what future? We've been waiting 20 years for that glow up. Maxim. He yells. She tells him to get real. Even if a genius existed, they wouldn't hang with us losers. Hamel tries to speak but gets muted when Pop spins around asking who's crashing their VIP meeting. Old man just waves him in. Oscar waltzes in like sup fam. The main character has arrived. Vice Master's like, spill the tea. What do you want? Oscar says he's got a biz idea to pitch. Pops loses it, laughing his butt off. Business? Rich coming from the dude who borrowed cash last week. Mr. CEO now? Oscar ignores the hate. Found some old news. State 20 is on lockdown cause of a crazy flu. Hamel chimes in. Oh yeah, heard that. It's the Kadena flu. Basically the apocalypse. Zero cure for that mess right now. White Tower had the vax, but someone deleted the recipe 20 years ago. Bingo, Oscar says. And the Azure Tower, those potion moguls, can't copy it. That's his cue. I want to sell Kadena vaccines. White Tower used to own that market. I want in. Fidelina scoffs, saying, there's zero reason to listen to this kid. Every corp dropped bags of cash on this, but nobody's solved it in 20 years. But sure, let's believe this 20-year-old punk can do it. Oscar's just like, yeah, everyone else took the L. Yeah, he's barely 20, but the dude is a legit genius who could school everyone here. Fidelina looks like she is about to scream. Ranting that he wasted 723,000 coins, plus 25 grand on shady meds, while farmers survive on 20,000 a year. He is basically a mega genius with zero financial brain cells. Hamel cuts in, telling Elder Fidelina to chill because Oscar is pitching an official Times investment proposal as a White Tower mage. He gets she holds the purse strings, but her attitude is way harsh. She mumbles a super stiff my bad for that. Oscar speaks up, I wondered why you hated my guts, but since you are the treasurer and I have leeched off you for 2 years, I get it. But for real, he adds, I am not joking around. Just give it some thought, okay? In his head, he is like, the scrub who owned this body before isn't me. Hamel asks if it is really Kadena flu. Oscar says, 100%, check page 2 of the paper. The elder reads that Archbishop Baldwin totally changed his travel schedule. Oscar notes he is crashing in Surrey for a full month just for blessings, which is super sus. Who camps in a city that long? The El Terra cult worships Mother Terrara, and has 7 archbishops who are supposedly incorruptible saints. But let's be real, that is total garbage. You need massive bribes to make cardinal. He claims he is greeting pilgrims, but he is actually schmoozing rich folks for cash. Now, Serene was huge back then, even if it has kind of flopped lately. Maxim nods. True. The cover story must be the blessing prayers. Oscar interrupts. And that is the sketchy part. Praying for barren lands? We all know the Altarara route is locked in, Surin, Mosque, Melbourne, Green Whale. Then they usually hit Vince. Oscar adds the Archbishop. Also loitered in Knox for a month right before Siren. Unless I am crazy, hiding in a mosque for a month screams one thing. He is avoiding Vince like the plague. If things went south on his holy tour, Altera would totally blame it on angering the goddess straight from the Archbishop's trap. Maxim realizes Baldwin knows it is the real Kadena flu and asks why it is dragging on. Oscar grins. Yep, that is their tall tale. The old lady admits, not bad for a nerd, but let's pause there. Hamel sighs, I feel you, but I can't sponsor this officially. We are out of manpower. Then he drops a bomb, so I will just pay for it myself. Elder freaks out at the Tower Master, but Hamel stays chill. Relax, it is just 30,000 coins. Enough, right? Oscar repeats the number, thinking, dude, not even close. He stomps to the lab, muttering, okay, time for plan B. He decides to whip up a cheap vax using the drain his wallet, then milk the Archbishop for extra. I mean, dude's the one sweating bullets over this. Kadena flu makes him an easy target. Let's get this party started, he thinks, then pauses. Huh? Red goop is fizzing out of the flask. He smirks. Showtime baby. Later, he's like, yo, actually not bad. Thinking. Pros never lose skills, but dang, he just YOLO'd an aura energy drink. Loki terrified it'd explode in his face. Frank yells, my back's literally gonna snap in two. Oscar's chill like, grab all the herbs? Frank goes, duh. Got drinks? I'm gonna pass out. Mage tosses him the juice. Bro chugs it fast. Thanks man. Tasty. Warm though? How'd you make it? Oscar shrugs. Top tier stuff. Frank puffs up. Yep, pick the best. Seller was big mad. Mage says, with those eyes, go sell stuff, forget magic. Dude's like, funny you mention that. Plan B for when this tower flops. Oscar slams the floor. Gah, couldn't help it. Frank's super lost. So what's the play, Elder? Fidelina sent me. Oscar thinks, she's trouble, but says, move that stuff. Grumbling solo. Don't need a babysitter. This white tower is full of problem kids. Talented, sure, but gonna mess up eventually. If these brats grow up, they'll help. Frank included. Oscar thinks he's sharp. Time to test that vibe. Frank chirps, yo, these herbs are totally toxic. We got lilies of the valley, red camellias, ghost shrooms. Oscar smirks. Poison can be meds too. You know that, right? Frank snaps, yeah, but we gotta steep 'em 12 hours. True, Oscar admits, but tiny issue there. Good stuff boils off. Yo, heard of Yan Dynasty buns? Kid nods. Yeah, seen 'em. Need a smoker thingy, right? Oscar grins. Bingo. That gadget detoxes herbs but keeps the good stuff. We get 98% purity that way. Frank's like, wait. You'd own the potion market. Oscar shrugs. Hey, old school trick. Frank asks, detox done? Mage goes, nope, nowhere near. Says they just prep stuff to make the clustery. Real work easy. Fun part starts, air drain magic. Gotta pluck toxins from smoke. Watch closely. The leftover smoke is clean. We grab 23% from camellias, 47 from leaves. Boom, boom. There's your Cadena flu cure. He jokes it was basically easy peasy. Oscar claps. Okay, your turn. Frank is internally screaming. Easy for you to say. He can't even multitask spells but is too proud to admit he's a noob at dual casting. So he just awkwardly asks how it works. Oscar vibe checks him. Your mana is shaky, but not a total dumpster fire. Then adds. Mostly. He asks what's up. Frank snaps, are you trolling me? I can't dual cast. You need to be level 4 or 5. I'm level 3 trash. Oscar grins, chill, I'll school you. Frank gasps. You're gonna teach me the secret strat? Oscar laughs. It's not that deep, bro. Think of your brain like browser tabs. Left tab runs spell A, right tab runs spell B. He nudges him. Go on, send it. What's the worst that happens? Frank starts mumbling like a weirdo. Brain tabs, okay, poof. He clears the smoke and yells, no way. Oscar slow claps. Sick. You actually clutched it. Blue hair wonders, why do they gatekeep this trick? The kid says, easy. They're greedy. They don't want to power level newbies for free. So, gatekeeping became tradition. But when the battlefield gets messy, that tradition goes in the trash. You gotta share the meta just to stay alive. The White Tower really needs to update their wiki and share info. Oscar is low-key impressed with the kids. First potion. Wow, dude is actually cracked. Didn't think he'd nail it first try. Frank tries to be humble. You're a good teacher. The mage smirks. You were way saltier 5 minutes ago. Then blue hair gets hyped. We still got a mountain of loot. Let's get back to the grind. Oscar sighs at his hyper buddy. Ugh, fine. We got the mega smoker. Let's speed run the whole batch. Kid is down. Hours later, Frank looks wrecked. Oscar counts 514 bottles. Suddenly, Maxim kicks down the door. Big drama. Frank, barely alive, asks, what now? Maxim shoves a paper in his face. The Azure Tower bros are pulling up in 1 hour, bringing Archbishop Baldwin too. Maxim groans. We were just a second too slow. Oscar thinks, great. We were lagging with zero plan. Old guy says, if we gank them first. But Frank cuts in. Or this grind was for nothing. Maxim pats him, chin up. Sometimes life just wrecks you. Oscar interrupts. Hold up. Not over yet. Cadena flu is a rank B disaster? Yeah. If so, I got a wild play we can try. Maxim lights up, no cap? Oscar nods. So, old man, can you fly faster than a wagon? Meanwhile in Serene, a knock screams, your appointment is here. Baldwin keeps his cool and signals the squad to open the gates. In walks Maureen, a flashy level 5 wizard from the snooty Azure Tower, acting thankful he didn't get the door slammed in his face, with director Neil tagging along. Baldwin, basically dying of boredom on the rain. Inside, points to a seat. Maureen, thanks him like a total suck-up. Then the boss cuts straight to the chase. He asks about that flu project. The guy puffs up, oh, we're totally crushing it. Baldwin's like, cool story, bro. Then he asks the real question. But when can I actually buy the stuff? Maureen starts stuttering about testing phases and taking forever. Neil jumps in like a robot reading a script, claiming the government will totally approve it once they get some data. Maureen tries to dance around the said. Answer, Your Grace, science isn't fast food, you know? It takes time. Baldwin cuts him off. Yeah, heard it. When, finally, the Azure guy cracks and admits it's about 6 months away. Baldwin stares blankly. 6 months. I'm retiring in 4. Do the math. Maureen panics, but Baldwin snaps, what's that noise outside? His guard pops in, yo, another wizard is here. He looks at his guests. You guys invite a friend without telling me? Maureen freaks out, apologizing, and swearing they came solo. Everyone stares at the door like, who invited this guy? Door flies open, this kid Oscar struts in like a boss. Sup? Elsia is the vibe, right? He introduces himself as Oscar Cushing, a humble level 2 mage from the White Tower, here with a killer deal. Baldwin sighs, spit it out, Junior. Oscar grins. Selling the flu cure. Baldwin's face lights up instantly. No way, perfect timing. These losers were just boring me to death about that exact thing. Oscar asks if he's late to the party. Nope, says Baldwin. These two brought nothing but excuses. Oscar beams, sweet, 'cause White Tower is ready to roll right now. Maureen loses it, screaming, that's a total lie. White Tower is broke. They couldn't cure a paper cut. The Archbishop just asks the kid's last name again. Cushing, he replies. The priest looks him dead in the eye. For real? You actually got the goods? Oscar clutches his chest, acting hurt. Sir, would I scam an archbishop? He dramatically pops a box open. Boom. Sample. Baldwin nods. Cute size. But can you make, like, a zillion of these if we deal? Maureen tries to interrupt, but the boss glares at him. Zip it. You came here with zero prep. The mage scrambles for a comeback, but they don't have the official government stamp yet. He spins to Oscar, thinking he really did something there. Bet you don't have the paperwork either, right? Kid just says, nope, looking totally smug. Look, White Tower's in the same boat. We'll mass produce once we get the green light. Oscar cuts in, yo, reality check. You're talking about the White Tower. Maureen puffs his chest out like a tough guy. Starts yapping about the Azure Tower's epic history. We should obviously be the ones brewing the top tier stuff. Oscar literally laughs out loud. Dude, lecturing a White Tower mage on history? That's hilarious. Guy sees red, but the kid keeps roasting him. Check the wiki. We were here first. Azure dude stammers, claiming it was only a 5-year gap. Oscar smirks. Oh, just a tiny gap? Funny how your leaders haven't closed that tiny gap in forever. A gap you couldn't fix in 10,000 years. History 101. Or did you forget who owned the potion game 20 years ago? Morris waves it off. Ancient history. Who cares? That triggers Oscar. Nobody remembers? Wow. Hot take of the century. Azure Squad just stares, sensing the massive power diff. Oscar's about to school them, but a secretary crashes in with urgent news. Baldwin snaps. Spit it out, who is it? It's the Lord of Vince. Guy on the phone is hyping up the Archbishop. Baldwin is confused. Then the Lord drops the bomb. They got the Cadena flu cure. Word is, White Tower whipped it up on the sly. Archbishop gets the clout since patients recovered in hours. Total miracle. You can see Oscar's victory smirk. Baldwin plays cool. Awesome news. Asks about side effects. Lord says zero. Zilch, nada. Incredible stuff. When's the next batch? White Tower guy told me to ask you. Archbishop smooth talks. Next shipment is coming soon. Hang tight. Lord thanks him a million times and hangs up. Baldwin turns to Oscar. Was this your stunt? Kid goes, yep. When exactly to plan? Morris flips out, slamming the table. That's illegal. You broke the safety laws. Oscar scoffs, calling him a total noob. Who doesn't get the rules? Do you even know how to win a war? Morris snaps, don't change the subject. Oscar thinks this place is stuck 20 years in the past, remembering the real killer in the demon war was a pandemic. Mages were brewing, but the red tape took forever. King adds Article 42 Clause 8 to the books, letting us cheat during war, but that loophole didn't change how the empires or FDA roll. Moyer goes, no war here. Oscar's like, actually, 3 things count. First, a classic throwdown with another species or nation. Second, a total revolution. Finally, a Class B disaster. Cadena flu fits perfectly. So we didn't need to stress about FDA red tape. Neil tries to copy. If White Tower did it, we can too. We'll ship our cure to Vince right now. Archbishop sighs, you don't get how screwed you are? Race ended the sec their cure hit Vince. Baldwin explains. Vince Lord thinks I'm Team White Tower already. Can't flip to promoting Azure Tower now. Awkward. Neil drops the price, but the holy guy's offended. Buying my rep? They try to cap, but he cuts him off. Enough. Don't want to hear a peep. Tells them both to get lost. Bye. Mora looks salty as he gets up. Mutters revenge on Oscar. Mage thinks, dude sounds like a cheesy villain. Before casually dropping he already patented the cure and vax. Boom. With a palace. Mora spins, triggered. Our boys like, want the goods? Better pay licensing fees to the White Tower. Or just eat those potions in the trash. Mage practically grinds his teeth and rage quits. Neil glares at the priest, nods at Oscar. But Oscar catches a weird vibe off Neil. Recalls the boss mentioning a unique crisp minty scent. That's all the info. Oscar stares. No way. Archbishop cracks up. Sit, kid. Let's talk biz. We gotta fix the price. Azure Tower only asked for 2 million. Oscar grins. Let's hit him with 5 million. Archbishop loses it, ruffling, asking if he's for real. Later at White Tower, someone's like, say what? Elder screams, 10 million. Oscar just smirks. Fidelina hugs the little savage. Maxim's all, knew you were goated. Hamill goes, insane. Spill the tea, how? Even he can't pay that. Oscar, just extra fees. Master perks up. Fees? Kid breaks down the licensing hustle. Hamill's like, FER? Boy nods, yup. The White Tower's post is basically a divine DM to rush those antidotes. But hold up, here's the plot twist. He's chasing that cardinal clout, claiming Mother Earth sent a vision. So the Archbishop title is looking extra spicy to him right now. Oscar grins, I milked it. He offered 1 million coins for the deal. In exchange, I swore I'd drop the vax and antidotes in a week. Hamill is shook. That's wild since the fine was only triple the theft. Yet you secured over 400,000 times that cash? She sighs. Guess we can cancel your detention then. Anyone beefing with that? Fidelina is totally vibing with it. Vice Master tells Oscar, yo, kid, need a squad? Hit me up. Oscar's like, bet, we need level 4 mages. Like, yesterday. Hamill's down, says she'll recruit and tells Fidelina to collab on the post. Woman asks, what's the script? Master breaks it down. Just say, Potion Lab hiring level 4 mages or higher. Getting paid. And the kicker? A free meat feast. Hours later, lab's packed with mages hyping up the food. Best news ever. Oscar claps to get attention. Yo, seniors, chill, listen. Crickets. They straight up ghost him. Kid snaps, casts a sound spell. Seniors yell, what's that awful noise? Oscar smirks, cool, I got your eyes now. Dragged you here to cook up Cadena flu cures. I need your skills bad. The students whisper, why's the flop genius here? Another sus med scam? The kid is absolutely roasted by the trash talk. He asks Frank, am I cancelled or what? Why the hate? Frank sighs, bro, maybe review your own highlight reel. Your vibe is kinda. This guy was a total headache. A diva who torched Tower Cash, skipped research, and just raged. Oscar started wondering if he was actually that messy. Suddenly, a blonde girl approaches, hey, can I bug you real quick? Since the tower's secret recipe vanished, she's curious how they'll manage. Oscar casually drops that they recovered the recipes. Students in the back represent the peanut gallery, and the blonde grills him, asking for proof the antidote isn't fake. Crucian jumps in, confirming the contract is signed, sealed, delivered. Blonde girl's eyes go wide, realizing that's worth crazy bank. If this leaks, we're cooked, she implies. Trusting them is nuts. Oscar shrugs, honestly, I have no idea why you guys are still lurking in this tower. Blonde girl snaps, excuse me? That how you talk to seniors when begging? You just totally wasted my time. I don't get what game this genius is playing. Spoiler alert, literally 0 people subscribe to your monologue. Oscar ignores the shade, grinning, yo, I know exactly what you guys ditched to stick around. Blondie's jaw hits the floor as he starts spilling her wiki page. Lena White, level 5, 25. Had 7 major guilds. Sliding into your DMs for that judgment skill, yet you left him all on read. He finger guns at the squad. Harak, Dryan, 26, Desert, Renee, same age. And Sophia Rose, 23 our alchemy cheat code. Oscar keeps rolling, basically, everyone here had epic job offers lined up. If I got that bag, I'd probably dip. But you guys? You ghosted them to stay here. Lena blinks, asking if the Boomer Council approved this secret meetup. Oscar nods. They had to, Only way to make it work without totally wrecking the students' lives. Towers facing its worst winter era ever. Literal Ice Age vibes. Yet you guys chose to freeze your butts off here instead of cashing out. If I can't bet on legends like you, who am I supposed to trust? Santa? He smirks. But hey, if you're not vibing, feel free to bounce. No pressure. Frank rolls his eyes. Ugh, cringe, stop the acting. Oscar ignores the haters. Anyway, level 2s? Get to work. His friend yells, bro, I'm standing right here. Oscar tells Frank to hustle. He only needs a duo to kickstart this rave. Lena stares, sighs, and slaps on a visor. She steps up. Fine. Do I need these nerdy goggles or what? She asks for the game plan. Sophia jumps in instantly. Alright squad, you heard the lady. Let's grind. Frank shook. No way. He actually charmed them with that cheesy monologue? The maid shrugs. Meh, decent speech. Oh, heads up, dinner isn't pork. Panic ensues. Chicken. Please tell me we aren't eating rat. Mage yells, it's beef, and the crowd goes wild. Boom. Vaccines cooked up, smashing the goal by 140%. 1 week later, Oscar's strolling the greenhouse, spots, petals, and thinks, old man Walter was here? He's definitely back. Hemel totally dragged his butt home. He flops onto a chair and grabs a paper. Headline, Vince territory pandemic over. Antidote worked in just 2 days. And guess what? Oscar Crucian is trending for the Peace Prize. Oscar thinks, just as planned. Then Frank bursts in, losing it on his phone. He's screaming, unreal. Vaccine orders are going viral. Did you see the desert list? Imperial family just bought in. We're making millions like it's pocket change. Oscar just goes, obvi. Who wouldn't want some? Frank plays logic police about the hype dying, but Mage just pats his head. Cute that you think you cracked the code. Blue hair's like, bro, who's buying in 5 years? Oscar's chill, says the cash flow is handled. Because spoiler, he already cooked up potions for every tier. Frank yells, wait, you actually prepped for this? He guessed they were epic star tier rumors, but Crucian says nah. Nope. We're pushing the bargain bin stuff. Low mid, says the heavy hitters aren't ready yet. Star tier means those crazy white tower regen brews. Literal zombie juice that undeads you. Making it as pure chaos. Oscar knows that'll just bring recipe thieves running. Archbishop's barrier keeps him safe for now. Still, gotta grind some XP. So he's like, K, back to topic, need to loot specific mats. Frank's confused, since when? Oscar just lists them off. Lantern leaves, pistos. Frank whines that's impossible. Mage asks, ain't that your thing? Blue hair denies it. Yeah, like, ages ago maybe. Those herb spots have been gone for a minute, he says. Frank grumbles Oscar's psycho for dragging him out here blindly. Blue hair starts moaning. Why are we on foot? We could have took the ride. Mage goes, it doesn't reach here, just chill a sec. They trek 10 miles and are almost there. Frank asks, why use dead measurements? Clueless Oscar asks, wait, no more miles? Buddy explains it's meters now post-war. Pounds or grams, thinking they ditched pounds too? Math nightmare. But old school math was kinda fun. He misses the retro units. Anyway, Frank spies a cabin, wonders if it's occupied. Suddenly, Geezer opens the door. Y'all walked here? He asks. Frank just sighs. Ride only went to the gate. Oscar's like, what's that noise? Suddenly a bougie ride full of suits rolls up to the cabin, squashing flowers. Suit guy asks Gramps, selling yet? Old guy stomps out. Super mad, getting in his face, quit being a moron already. Gramps claps back that it's a no-go unless he trades that sad castle. Devore the suit says the stubborn act got old fast. And if he keeps this up, he'll be totally ignored. Herb Master Ivan snaps, none of your beeswax. Devore plays nice, yo, I'm helping you out. Sell the lot and retire, Gramps. Values are gonna crash hard. Ivan just cackles in his face. Cute joke, but you're never getting permits for those factories while I'm breathing. Suit guy glitches for a sec, then screams at his crew to bounce. Walking away, he pauses like his brain just rebooted. Claims he accidentally stomped their prized weeds and owes cash. Throws bills in the dirt. Inside the car, Dior's raging about the guests. Who were those White Tower nerds with Gramps? Why are they here? Lackey stammers, it's the herbs, boss. Vaccine sales are printing money. How much money? Goon hands him a paper. A boatload. Dior skims the article. Then, asterisk whack. Asterisk slaps the lackey's head. And I'm hearing this now? If the tower backs the geezer, he'll never sell. Game over. That completely wrecks the master plan. He calls his shady contact. Pick up on the first ring. Dior asks, "Yo, those freelancers available?" It's go time. Minion panics. Which squad? People might recognize them. Asterisk smack, asterisk, another slap for being dumb. We just ghost the old man. Say he vanished, grab the land. Easy. He pauses. Okay, maybe it looks a tad sus. Whatever, he's connected. Then the lackey chirps, but the tower guys? If the big four magic crews show up, Ivan is untouchable. Dior snorts. Please. What's gonna happen? The big four is ancient history. Irrelevant. White Tower's a joke, basically dust in the wind. Meanwhile, Frank's lounging on the grass. Herb Dude is the goat for letting us crash and eat. Oscar grins up at the sparkles in the sky, nodding. Recalls Ivan insisting they stay put for the night. Frank checked if he was sure, but Gramps played the tower duty card. Oscar's thinking, but blue hair cuts in. Who was the suit? Ivan sighs. Dior. Total creep. Makes folks disappear. 3 years back, he went on a buying spree. Bought everything but my spot. Everyone else bailed. Frank asks why. Ivan, factories. Oscar asks why stay. Old man smirks. Clown can't touch me. I've got the cheat codes. I'm a living cultural heritage for herbs. Frank's like, whoa, so the royals protect you? You know it. Oscar asks, why not sell? You'd be filthy rich. Ivan shrugs. Captain Obvious here. I love this dirt. Born here, and I'm staying till I'm 6 feet under. Oscar calls him solid. Frank laughs about Ivan blushing and running inside. Stars here are insane though, he admits. Kinda jealous. Friend asks, of what? I want to shine like a star, Frank says. But a genius like you wouldn't get it. Oscar tells him, dude, stop roasting yourself, you're actually legit. And Frank just mutters, thanks, assuming it's all fluff. Oscar pushes back, no cap, I don't waste breath on lies. Wondering why his past self ever thought this guy was drama. Frank sighs, man, the stars are popping off tonight. Oscar nods, back in the day, Siren had views like this too. Thinking how the city glow is way too extra now. Blinding the sky and killing the vibe for romantics. Frank asks the timeline, majorly doubting. If Oscar can zombie resurrect the herb trade in Suri Aaron. Oscar grins, easy dubs, just gotta butter up old Ivan. Suddenly, sketch vibes hit, he bolts up. Frank's like, yo, see a phantom or what? Nah, people, 4 bogeys. Frank blinks, huh, my radar's blank. Oscar thinks, if Frank missed him, they're pro trouble. He barks, up, buddy, visitors. A guy strolls up, popping a massive gum bubble, asking why they got ghosted. On the retire grandpa gig, calling Deborah a chicken. Geezer grunts, whatever. Pay equals play. Gum boy notes Gramps is a northern celeb crook. Bounty and all. Red jacket cuts in, cut the yap. Stay sharp. Jack mutters, probably mages. Geezer shrugs, if they're White Tower weaklings, we're chill. The others suck. Green hair spins a key. We gonna brawl or what? Figuring the silence means the old man's dirt napping. He creeps to the bed, too easy. No mages. Scam, then he spots a trap, cursing as he spins. Oscar chirps, ooh, sharp eyes. And blasts a wind bullet into Greeny's forehead. Oscar jumps out, flexin', this spell is clutch. Cooked it up myself back in my genius era. Fresh spin on wind arts. Knockout power is way better than I thought. He scans, wait, 3 left? I only count 2 standing. Jack screams, what'd you do to Max, freak? Oscar shrugs. Just nap time. A really long nap, like, permanent. Geezer spits. Cocky moron. Jack ignores it, barking, where's the target? Max is dead weight. Oscar notes, no drama, straight to business. Pros. He sighs. Alright, boys, let's use our words. Jack smirks. Nah, I want blood. Gramps, go. The old man strikes, dagger clanging off a shield, blade gets swatted, and Oscar yeets himself forward in that split second. Gramps pivots with a nasty grin. Not shabby, small fry. Impressive. While Oscar zooms in, the geezer preps his spear, and our boy charges a spell. Then the dude's spear splits in 2, and he starts cackling like a maniac. Cool gadget, right? Shame your luck just ran out. Game over, noob, he snarls, targeting Oscar's dome. Kid Mage flicks a finger, bored stiff. Bro, this is Snoozefest Central. He fires off magic. Actually tragic. Bam. A wind blast wrecks the blade. Old guy's brain fries. No way. Totally blindsided. He gets ragdolled. Oscar's hit with chef's kiss, smashing that spear to bits. Oscar quips, fancy gear don't mean squat if it's ancient junk. Suddenly, his danger alarms go screaming. He jumps back just as Gramps starts gloating about his win. Pow! A shot drops the old dude, then whizzes past Oscar, nicking him. The kid's cheek gets a scratch. Jack sighs, bummer. Total waste. If Oscar zoned out for a split second, he'd be worm food. Oscar asks about the partner. Jack shrugs, just hired help. Dime a dozen. Mage thinks, yikes. Classic toxic villain behavior. Aloud, he asks, what's the deal with that pop gun? Jack bristles. Not a toy, brat, this cost big bucks. Oscar smirks. Lemme guess. Speed, charm, and pierce buffs? Triple stack on that bad boy. Redhead is shook. Whoa, how'd you? Oscar deadpans, 'cause I couldn't block it, genius. Jack grins, sassy, but you got skills. Wanna join my squad? Pay is lit. Oscar stands up. Hard pass. My neck would itch. Jack laughs. Fair. Enough talk. Oscar ducks behind cover, thinking, man, what kind of monster was the tower master to dodge this insanity? My wind shots are snails compared to his blasts. So yeah, I'm cooked. Mana's low. My only chance is his reload window. After firing, swapping takes exactly 1.4 seconds. Jack struts around. Where'd the rat go? Oscar thinks, gotta end this in 1.2 to 4 seconds. He buffs his speed and sprints at him. Jack whirls. Whoa, Speedy Gonzales. But you can't beat my Trinity. He fires at the kid's shield. Jack smirks, thinking it's good game. But the shot curves weirdly. Oscar keeps rushing. Jack glitches out. How? Speed magic isn't enough. The shield? He wonders, just as a hand palms his face. Jack gags, how can a noob mage? Oscar goes, bro, you wouldn't get it even if I drew you a map. He groans loud, had to use some super annoying gear back there. So that's the Trinity? 3 spells taped to a weapon? Sick. Legit impressive though. I'd be crispy toast without it. Used friction to nerf the magic durability on my shield. Outer shell went all jelly mode while the core stayed diamond hard. Bullet blocked. If that hack failed, I'd be napping 6 feet under right now. Back at the tower, I'm learning to glue magic to guns as soon as possible. This weak noodle body is seriously cramping my style cause. Clearly I gotta save Frank and Aiden without us getting deleted. Hold up. I sensed some creep lurking at the start. Clapped 3 goons already. Hope Frank's chillin' and not captured. Mage tells Gramps, you bounce. I got this. Ivan's all, and leave you hanging? Kid goes, he's tough. Can't go full try hard with you here, go. Ivan nods, bet. Don't die, kid. Merc grins, done with the soap opera drama? Frank, not chasing Gramps? Bandit lols. Nah, let the boomer run. He might make it. You're the main quest here, buddy. But real talk, what's the hype? Why's everyone sweating you tower mages like your raid bosses? Yanks his sword, aiming to delete the squishy wizard, and yeets FWD. Frank spams some get off my lawn wind blasts. Merc swats him like flies, looking smug. Too easy. Aims for the chest, yelling entertain me. Is that all the glitter a fancy tower mage brings to the party? Then? Weird vibes. Like stabbing pudding that doesn't stab back. That satisfying crunch of hitting a dude? Totally MIA. Gets freaky when Frank grabs the blade, zoop, wind slices his chin. Dude folds like laundry. Frank's like, oof, my bad. I'm just built different. Asterisk whoosh times noises coming from his chest. Even Frank looks shook as the guy eats dirt. Oscar's peeping the drama from the cheap seats. Strapped, thinking, Frank's a total cheat code, huh? Realizes it's wind god hacks. Frank turned into literal air. Can't punch air, right? Dude's invincible without magic buffs. He's only read about this OP nonsense in lore books. Stories about the 7th Tower Master, born with that glitch skill. Never guessed Frank of all people had that cracked ability. Now he's interested. Frank goes, bro, when did you spawn? Oscar, good game, champ. I was sweating bullets for a sec. Then asks, where'd Ivan dip to while you were flexing? Hero realizes, oh snap, where I's the old man. Dude should have been back ages ago. Oscar thinks, train this kid, and his wind hacks beat 50 mages. So he points to Ivan's signal ping. Gramps is hyped without them. He's a goner. Frank's modest. Nah, all Oscar. Mage denies it. He got clapped. Frank carried. Then he mumbles wizard gibberish. Frank blushes. Aw, stop it. It's done. Ivan goes, not yet, noob. Devore won't rage quit that easy. Thugs fail? He'll plot worse. Frank asks, why the obsession? Ivan says it's the premium dirt of Suririne. Siren soil's been trash for 8 years. Magic factories popped up, spewing sparkle sludge daily, wrecking the dirt. Can't fix it, so no herbs grow. Oscar jumps in with a quiz. Is his tower fanboyism cuz of Master Rinaldus's promise? Ivan gasps, you know that lore? Ancient tea. People thought they were sus witches back then. Since the herbs were a mystery, they sold weird soup. So herbalists roamed like nomads. Then a total legend appeared. Tower boss Reynold told him to move to Suririn, promising a forever home for their plant kids. Oscar adds, no loser treatment there. Ivan sighs, epic speech. Kid shrugs, read it in history class. Recalling the dusty book, old guy spills it. Every plant geek rushed to Suririn, finally finding a crash pad. Tower gave him cred, so they won't ghost it. Oscar gives a deadpan look, thanks for the loyalty, and vows the tower's got him. Ivan asks, what's the play? Royals will flip if we touch landmarks, but they're slow. And what if devil rages? Oscar cuts in. Royals will zoom once I cure their sniffles. Devorpo screams at his lackey to hurry since he flopped. They're doomed. After they bolt, minions toast. Bam. Door flies open. Soldiers scream, freeze, losers. The big boss steps up to the plate. Name's Walker, Imperial Affairs boss. You Devor Paul? You're nailed for attempted murder, bribes, theft, and trashin' relics. Devor's like, whoa, wrong guy, bro. I'm chill. Walker shuts him up, we'll be the judge. Suit thinks, yikes, I'm cooked. One call to my contact and I'd vanish, poof. He asks the guard, yo, smoke break? Walker pauses, then barks, cuff him. Get him out. Devor screams, huge mistake, man. My backer's huge. Walker smirks, true. I don't know him, but mine's the Emperor. Yours beat His Majesty? They swipe Devor's cigarette instantly. Walker lights a cigar. Gotta admit, Crook's got taste. Rookie has a question. Who dragged us here? Walker sighs, top orders, kid. Emperor stands the White Tower hard. Adult drama, weird obsession, ignore it. Sure, heroes. 20 years ago. Toss a broken bird, it just face plants faster. White Tower ain't worth this VIP hype. He asks, how old are ya? 23. You were 3 back then. I was 12 when we finally stomped those demons. Now? What's the White Tower even do? Hype's dead. Alright, let's bounce. One more stop, subordinate groans. Man, seriously? Where to now? West. Factory dumping trash. Fix that, then home time. He thinks, great, more work. He knew zero tower lore. Oscar, Kroyan, and Frank. Serious vibe, but he'd repay him for that gang mess. Sub asks, food run on the way? Walker says nope. Oscar's like, nice, Frank. Frank wants beer. Newbie says, vice leader first. Frank argues, but vice leader. Yells for Oscar, leaving blue hair. Totally lost, muttering about ruined plans, then storms off. Hamel thinks he saw Frank hallucinating? Oscar goes, nah, boss was right, but he bailed for something big. Old man sighs. Always a 5-alarm panic with him. Figures the magic nerd. Did a miracle since he heard the full report. Oscar was already en route, so they share a lift ride up to Hamel's digs. Immediately, Oscar's spidey senses start tingling. Something is definitely off. Hamel skips the pleasantries. Heard from Frank? Nope. Why the 3rd degree? What gives? Then Gramps drops a total truth bomb about a memo. From the Sirius clan, they're officially recalling Frank, dragging him home. Oscar blinks. Wait, he actually agreed to ghost the White Tower? Hamel nods. We chatted, but the kid's clueless on the fine print. A knock makes Frank holler, Grank? Get your butt in here. Oscar's thinking, asterisk, who names their kid Grank, sounds like a goblin, asterisk. Frank facepalms. Bro, I can literally hear your internal monologue. The mage gets real. So, you're legit bailing on the tower? Sorry for the hush-hush. Frank sighs, gotta go run the fam biz. Basically slavery until I get married off. Fun times. Oscar chokes. Married? You? Who's the unlucky girl? Frank shrugs. Some rich girl. She's hot enough, I guess. Whatever. Not the point, dude. Oscar snaps. You're quitting magic? Seriously? Frank looks defeated. What choice do I have? I thought I was special, but here? I'm total trashed here. I'm basically an NPC in this magic tower. It sucks. I could have been a boss back home. Here, I'm nobody. Saw this coming a mile away. Can't leech off the tower forever. Mom and Dad want me back. It makes sense. Then Oscar goes intense. Frank, why the creepy voice? Frank asks. Mad 'cause I called us weak? Oscar shakes his head. You've got mad skills. Frank freezes, hit right in the feels. Wow. Thanks, man. Coming from a literal prodigy, that actually means something. Oscar smirks. Wanna bet on yourself? Be that big boss here? Suddenly, the door crashes open. This your little boyfriend? I'll give my baby brother 5 minutes. The intruder sneers. Wrap up the wheat fest. But Oscar steps up. How much? Name your price to keep Frank here. Grank laughs. And who are you? Pipsqueak. Oscar drops his name. The guy pauses times. Oh, the miracle potion kid, asterisk. Grank serious, he introduces himself. Big brother to this loser. Oscar starts to deal, but Grank just rolls his eyes. Careful, boy genius. You're swimming with sharks here. Got guts trying to hustle the serious family. It's a win-win. Oscar shoots back, cool as a cucumber. I'll make Frank a top-tier sorcerer in 2 years flat. Huge ROI for your clan. Grank grins. And if you flop, I'll forfeit 50 years of royalties, the mage declares. All cash from the flu vaccine goes straight to your pockets. Hamel jumps in. Kid, you can't just promise that. Relax, Oscar winks. I'm the vice master. I run this show. Grank eyes him suspiciously. Is my brother actually good, or is this charity? Duh, I shot back. Obviously 'cause the guy's a total legend. I'm giving the White Tower a massive glow up. In 5 years max. This is step 1, and I need Frank. He's the secret sauce for the whole master plan I'm cooking up. Grank smirked. You're a kid, I won't stop you being dumb, but there's a catch. Bro, my deal was gold, I sighed. He just shrugged. You missed a spot. Merchants deal in trust, not just cash. I don't work with randos. Gotta prove you're legit first. My guard's a level 5 knight. Tomorrow, your boy fights him. Hello? I blinked. Frank's only level 2. That's suicide. Grank shrugged. Guard won't use his key sword. Asterisk great. Asterisk I thought. Asterisk, he's stubborn. Asterisk. Asterisk probably some political wedding drama hanging over him. Asterisk. Noon, he said. Don't show? I'll call you a chicken. Asterisk yikes. Asterisk I cringed. Asterisk even I'd struggle with that guy. Asterisk. Level 5 is beast mode. Frank panicked. Plan, boss? We can bail. Seriously, just saying. Bro's gonna roast me anyway, but I'll walk with you if you're scared. Pff, I grinned. Easy win if I was level 4. Frank stared. And how do you jump 2 levels in a day? For me? No way. But for a level 3 hitting 4? Doable. Your bro said prove skills, not fight personally. So watch this. Frank, I shouted. I'm leveling you up to 4 to fight for me. Cut to the 40th floor gym. Frank was whining hard. Years of failing fixed in a day? Chill, I said. Trust. Stand natural. Stop looking so weird. Eyes shut. Feel the mana. Just vibe with it. Good. I poked his ribs. See this spot? You're leaking mana like a sieve when you cycle it. That's why you suck. Frank gasped. You geniuses see that? So I plug it, I level up? Usually doesn't matter, I shrugged. Most mages are clueless. But the top 1%? They obsess over it. So, welcome to Hell Week. Gonna make those circuits flow smoother than butter. Gotta be like breathing. Frank grinned. That it? Oh, honey, no. Just the intro. Now show me the spell from the herb field. Frank froze. Can't. I frowned. Trust issues? No, dude, he panicked. I'm terrified of it, he said, dead serious. Last time I used it, I nearly died. Growing up, his anxiety levels totally skyrocketed. His folks were ready to grill him alive if he didn't start flexing some real magic skills soon. So he figured he needed a stunt so wild nobody would dare copy it. He wondered, why stop at just transforming a limb? If my whole body turned into wind, I'd be insanely OP. Worst idea ever. It felt legit for a split second, then things got weird. Like, literally, he started dissolving into thin air and straight up vanishing. Major glitch. Half of him disappeared, and his mana bugged out hard. He screamed like a banshee, begging for a save. If the boss hadn't walked by right then, he'd have been deleted from reality. Plus, having your soul crushed into confetti? 0 out of 10. Yeah, huge pass on ever experiencing that nightmare again. Oscar mentions he burned through it back on the hill. Frank warns it auto-triggers when things get sketchy, calling it total trash. Oscar shuts that down fast, telling him to quit the negative talk. Every wizard hits a wall like this. The fix? Basic mana control. Easy peasy. He just needs to level up his game. Frank goes, bruh, control is all about natural talent. Usually, yeah, Oscar admits, sketching a circle, but I know a cheat code. Frank panics. Dude, are you summoning a demon? Nah, the kid shrugs. Those guys left me on red ages ago. He was just calling a wind spirit too, like, vibe inside him. Frank tries talking to the air, asking for pure power, but gets ghosted. Oscar winces. Wow, your signal strength with spirits is garbage. I felt a breeze though. The kid argues. Bro, his friend deadpans, that was me sighing at your failure. Frank whines, but Oscar says to chill since humans and spirits rarely chat anyway. Then why hype me up? His friend pouts. Can't summon, can't control. I'm doomed. But the mage stays frosty. Relax, I got a backup plan. Picked up a nifty trick back when I hung out with elves in my last life. Did it for the lols back then, so it's guaranteed to work now. Frank asks about the chant, but his buddy pushes him aside to take over, betting the Spirit King remembers him. Oscar shuts his eyes, visualizing the massive world tree instead of this dusty gym. Then he hollers at the wind spirit to get its butt over here. Frank gapes. What the heck? Did he just one-shot that? The spirit appears. Yo, who pinged me? My notifications have been dry for 27 years. Oscar thinks. Bingo. He demands a contract. Got the terms and conditions handy? Nah, the spirit waves it off. We don't do boring paperwork here. You want to be besties with Celestine, the top tier spirit? Nope, Oscar blunts. He probably should have started with that. He didn't need a spirit, he just DM'd the boss for his friend's sake. Next day at the arena, Grank asks the VP if he caught enough Z's. Hemmel says yup. The young master asks, cool with the timing? Old dude nods, grumbling the cure maker was a total nutjob. Grank brings out today's challenger. Redhead goes, I'm Leslie Morgan, level 5 knight. Oscar says hi back. Grank lays down the law. It's magic tag. Snatch the necklace, you win. If Oscar doesn't win in 5 minutes, big fat L for him. He's all, sounds legit, let's roll. Grank smirks, raise your hand if you wanna bail. Then adds, for real, you fighting in that? Kid goes, it's chill, cause I ain't the one fighting. Frank steps up and Grank's totally shook. Like, say what? Oscar shrugs, you said prove my skills. Didn't say I had to fight. Coached my pal yesterday. Big bro size, fine, my bad for missing that rule, but I won't go soft on Frank. Oscar's like, nah, figured a level 4 mage beats a level 2's odds. Grank chokes, level 4? Wasn't he level 3 yesterday? Oscar grins, top tier in 2 years needs crazy gains. Grank barks at Leslie, don't you dare. Hold back. His knight looks deadly serious. Oscar slaps Frank's back, don't freeze. If you do what we practiced, easy dub. Blue hair nods, I'll survive this. Leslie says, long time, and the kid nods. Time to get this party started. Frank backs up, aiming for 20 meters gap. But Leslie's aura feels totally freaky and heavy. Even with a trash sword, dude's a monster from here. That's class 5 power. He thinks. Can I bail? Oscar sees him wobble. Then Frank remembers. Oscar said he's vital, handpicked for the squad. Without the sword guy, they're doomed without him. Frank's fists clench, firing a sick wind blade. Thinking, first time someone actually needed me. No way he's flopping now. Leslie swats it, thinking kid leveled up, using jewel casting to defuse the hit. Trying that Eastern trick? He blocks the last one. The wind blade just stalls in midair. Leslie charges, seen enough. Frank freaks, dude's too fast. He blasts a wind palm to stop him. Grank's stunned. Got good in half a day? Y'all use cheat codes? Oscar's cool as ice. Relax. We're good. Totally legit strat. Dude had a massive glow up. Too bad that's his only stat boost. Frank ain't exactly built for the battle mage grind. He's squishy, so leveling equals pain. Honestly. Quitting's safer. Better to be a desk jockey than get wrecked and panic the fam. He'd be too spooked to ever touch an XP potion again. Suddenly, Leslie dives in, grabbing for that blue bling. Oscar smirks. Good game, no re. Grank snaps back, confused by the sus grin. Cue flashback. Oscar claimed, spirit swap was a total dub. Asked if the wind magic works. Frank's like, yeah, feels organic. Mage warns, no full wind mode yet, your trauma arc isn't done. So Frank asks if he's destined to take the L tomorrow. Oscar shuts him down, use the wind god, Win rate is 100%. Then suggests morphing his whole bod into a breeze. Frank skeptical. Just that? Teacher drops one last red flag. Told to chill, but Frank thinks he needs the wind hacks to win. Leslie moves in. Decision time. Alright, here's the spicy part. Most broken skill ever. His ult? Turns his gear into pure wind. Yoop. Being teacher's pet is ridiculously OP. Gotta save the clutch plays for the finale though. Steamrolling is boring. Juking attacks is way more fun. So Frank strolls up and swipes the loot. Straight from the stunned Knight's grip. Knight's face says, "Welp, game over." Frank grabs it, it glows insane. He yells, "Nailed it." Grank jumps up. Wait. Doc said that move was banned. Hamill chuckles. Alright peeps, we got a winner. Then checks for any haters. Oscar's already hyping his boy up big time. Grank mutters, "Wait, didn't he train like once a day?" Then face palms and accepts the loss. Frank shakes hands. Hamill adds, "Y'all grinded hard. Sad to see you bounce." Grank interrupts, "Watch my bro, K? Think Frank actually leveled up." Then goes whatever and dips. Frank's silent. Oscar thinks what a meme. Frank's glowing but acting chill, like he's deaf to it. Anyway, skip to the next day. Frank's like, "Is this the lobby? Why's my gym a dungeon? Totally a prison cell, right?" Oscar says, "It's got vibe. Used for centuries." "But yeah, you nailed it." Frank groans, "Why the solitary confinement training?" Oscar's like, "Vice Master's orders. Big plans for ya." Frank ain't buying it, salty about solitary after one day off. "You kidding?" Oscar's like, "Bro, look on the bright side. Just help the ghost." Frank groans. "Yeah, guess so." His pal claps back. "Stop being such a wimp. You won't die." Frank mumbles. "You 100% sure?" Before they finally peace out. Oscar thinks, "My bad, cause real talk." The isolation cell was Times' idea. Flashback to post-duel vibes that night. Hamill asks, "Locking Frank for 30 days? Kid just won." Oscar shrugs, "Trust me, he needs a timeout." Vice boss sighs, "Fine, soft for a month. But hey, good news. Serious Co. says we can use their whole delivery web. No strings." Oscar asks, "Wait, for $0? Brain does quick math. Wow, that was speedy." Classic corp move. Betting will bank if tower recovers and Frank goes pro. So he goes, "Meh, can't be mad." Says aloud, "Well, that is freaking awesome. Legit good news." Ham goes, "Okay, item 2. How would you feel about teaching a lecture?" Oscar's like, "I could," thinking, "Didn't he say focus on potions?" Asks, "Why's White Tower gotta get swole so fast?" Hamill just smirks. Smart guy. Heard of Night of the Mages? Annual wizard meetup, supposed to be for chill skill flexing. Emperor's team building dream, but let's be real, that ain't happening. Turns into a magic cage match, cancelled ages ago. So why's Hamill digging it up now? Big boss reviving Mage Knight? Hamill nods. Bingo. It's hush hush, but big reveal around New Year's. He's getting bad vibes from Black Tower. Cause if they aim for Big 4 status, White Tower might get jumped. Makes him sweat. Oscar says, "I'm on it." Hamill clocks his poker face. Meanwhile, 36th floor, Magic Towers. Oscar thinks White Tower is leveling up. Super cocky. But hey, relief that Frank is a solid level 4. Ceremony for a noob spirit was a flex. He's glad, figuring a demigod would ghost a mortal. Fast forward, new day, another. Summoning sesh. Spirit goes, "Who summoned me to play Cupid?" Oscar's like, "Whoa, take a chill pill." Calls Sil hyphen of silence. Tell him White Mage is back. Spirit goes, bold move dropping the Spirit King's name. Then bam, glittery butterflies spawn out of nowhere. The ghost is totally glitching. Like, who even are you? Boom, King Spirit summoned. Oscar smirks. Where's the thrill? Then he hits him up for a tiny favor. Ghost goes, Queen greenlit the swap, no contract. Mage, sweet. Tell her cheers. But the ghost drops a warning. She said remember that vow. Kid thinks, chill, lady. I'm good. He's saving White Tower folks, so he's legit. But his plan to pay her back involves paying interest with a snooze fest paper on remixing basic magic. First up, gotta deal with the fam drama. Suit guy walks in, "Well, look who survived. Thought you'd be worm food by now. Long time no see. Is this for level 3s? No VIPs here." His pal goes, "Maybe the heavy hitters are too busy for basics?" Girl pipes up, "White Tower's loaded though. Heard the Vice Master invited him personally. Plus, the Empire's got eyes on this place." Friends hyped, "Whoa, Teach must be famous, can't wait. Guy scoffs, please. A lecture in this crusty hall? Nobody uses this dump. It's Demian proud, big mouth air. Girl size? Vibe killer much? Other dude, nah, it's a strat. If they were copying towers, they wouldn't redo basics. Look around. 32 heads here. Only one low rank scrub skipped. It's gonna be epic. He knew that genius level 2 would come. Then boom. Noise cuts out. Room goes mute. Blonde kid thinks, total silence, weird. Oscar walks in like a boss, sup. Nice to meet you. I'm the guy teaching you how to remix. Basic magic starting right now. I'm Oscar Crucian. Crowd whispers, wait, a level 2? Oscar, I know. You're bummed it's me. Thanks, yup, smell the disappointment. Low level teaching? The audacity. Must feel weird, right? Oscar grins. If you're doubting, feel free to dip. You're not babies anymore, just one tiny rule. Prove you're too cool to learn. Show me you don't need this. Clock's running. 10 minutes, just say you're quitting. Easy A, right? Students fume, cause he literally muted them. And he's daring them to speak? Real test starts now. He is a level 2, after all. Not your average hush spell, but totally hackable. Basically, he's like, unmute your mics or get wrecked, you're stuck in my class. Oscar's thinking. Left some clues, but it ain't exactly a tutorial level. Clock's ticking down and he goes, bruh, seriously? 0 volunteers? Then boom, Demian slaps the desk, yelling, solved it. Oscar's confused, wait, isn't he a noob? Kid looks smugger than a cat with cream. Oscar gives props, but the kid shrugs, easy, peasy, totally basic. I just, didn't want to rush greatness. Timer beeps, spell snaps. Oscar yells, 8, chill out, guys. Time's up. Only Demian passed the vibe check. Demian's like, obvi, so I can bounce? No class? Teach goes. You bet. Prince thinks, whoa, he let him dip. Now I kinda wanna know what's cooking here. Oscar smirks. Kid's easier to read than a billboard. I see every thought bubble. Hey, lone wolf, you get a bonus prize. I'll teach you a spell. What's your go-to? Demian doesn't blink. Wind, duh. Show me. Kid sighs loud, casts a spell, and grumbles, happy now? Not terrible, Oscar admits. Reward time, I'm gonna teach you actual wind magic today. Demian frowns. You missed the floating thingy? Teach just scoffs. That was a cheap knockoff. You got 2 huge fails. He pulls a knife. First, that wasn't even wind. What is wind? Kid eye rolls, moving air. Hello. Teach counters, water's water in a puddle, fire's still fire. But wind? That's air in constant motion. That's why your slash flopped. Stagnant water gets nasty. Stopped air magic just vanishes. Stay on your toes. White Tower is all about that flow. Translation, keep the magic moving, or it rips apart. Demian asks, okay, what's problem 2? Oscar replies, you're burning way too much mana. It'd help if you chilled out a bit. High-level mages can read a person's vibe just by watching them. Sounds creepy? I can even see your history. You're from that bougie family, so you copied their moves. But biting that style, before knowing basics? Big mistake. It's tricky. So you just spammed extra mana into it, and developed a nasty habit you're stuck with. Oscar adds, but hey, fix that, and your slash will be fire. Too bad you're quitting, losing you would suck. Demian spins around. Who said I was dipping? He struts back to his seat like a king. 3 weeks later, school gossip is Oscar's the GOAT teacher. A classmate goes, yo, for real? Is he mid though? Other guys like, bruh, please. Bro, LVL 4 and 5 sweats are literally camping his room. First guy goes, FOMO? Blue hairs all. Finally, let's dip. Squad of 7 is ready to pull up. Starts at 9, gotta camp the door early. No cap, if we lag, we're cooked. No seats. Whole calf was eavesdropping. Now everyone yeets up, ready to raid. Kids in the lobby, be whispering, why are high elo players in Noob 101? Even Maxim pulled up, it's basically a fan meet and greet. Oscar walks in with main character energy. Morning fam. Says today's spell is GOAT tier, glad y'all came. The chat goes absolutely feral. Teach goes, this spell is your new best friends forever for life. Trust. And it's basic wind. Everyone's like, bruh. The tutorial spell? The day 1 noob spell? Maxim cuts in. Don't mind me. Just lurking, but F-air? Teaching wind to this lobby? Teach grins, bet, elder, wanna show him how it's done. Maxim drops a literal hurricane. Wrecks the room. Smirks, rate my setup? Oscar's like, slay. THEX, points at a kid, Raven, you're up. Same spell. Girls shook. Why me though? There's pros here. But she eats the spell anyway. Chat says it felt like a cozy hug. Oscar asks, okay chat. Spot the difference. Go. Everyone screams stats like range, but one nerd mumbles mana vibe check. Oscar's eyes glow up. Veronica, W take, you cooked. Like she said, the mana vibe was totally diff. Wild part? The cast sequence was literally identical. One was spicy desert heat, one was soft spring breeze. Gap is massive. Barely the same spell. Next question. What even is mana temperament? Anyone? Kid yaps about 4 types, but Teach mutes him. Nah, L take, it's how you times grok times the mana. Gotta learn the white tower meta. It's about balance. Quiz, why are white and blue the OGs? Kid guesses elements. Oscar's like, big brain energy. Red and gold are sweaty DPS, but zero chill. Only wind and water switch hot or cold. That's true balance. That flex is why white and blue towers are elite. It's all about rocking that equilibrium. Like, recipe for boiling water is easy peasy. Need pressure, 100 degrees, time, hot wind? Even easier. Mastering that? Literal baby stuff. Flip vibes like a switch, instant chill. Winds wild, slaps hard as red fire. Zip like gold or flow like blue waves. Hold up, bonus content. Blue snobby. Wind? Total freedom. Matches whatever mood you're in. Wind slides into everyone's DMs. It vibes with all, so listen up White Tower. Find your own vibe with the breeze. Ask, we cool? Class dismissed. Rando chats while Max vibes with air. Oscar's like, zip it, bro. Stop, Gramps is busy, Teach is shook. Max is all, chill, I'm good. Legit happening. Oscar's flailing wild. Hands off. Back up. Give him room. Don't ruin the vibe. Class goes, huh? Oscar yells, he's leveling up. Wake up. Boom, eyes open. Kid asks, you good? Max sighs. Not level 8, thanks man. Oscar goes, I'm the Teach here. Thanks for the show. Kid, sick. Thinking, as classes now, nobody touch me. Losers stay down, he figured. Best part? Spotting V-Fricks. Got eyes on that rebel from the diary. Next day, dude's wandering the tower, thinking, Eve hyped the gym. Probs cause she dug my lesson. Nah, total pity. I was lost. Finds a door. Is this it? Heard only 3 rooms look this dope. Thinking, this the VIP lounge? Gotta be fancy if it needs a magic boop. Oscar senses weird vibes, then boom. Yo. I'm Argo, your new gym bro. Oscar thinks, magic tech stuff. Gold Tower blew the whole budget here. Siphon funds for this glam rec room. Argo goes, sign up for a custom plan. He's like, nah, staying anon. Picks manual, 100 levels, choose your own grind. Oscar says, level 1, baby steps. Systems chill, poof, 3 orbs. Rules are simple, smack him with spells or fists till they go boom. No wide blast hacks allowed, cheater. He wrecks him like ease. Boom, level 1 is toast. Oscar's like, solid pregame stretch. Let's spicy it up. Argo's all, what you want, boss? Pick a diff. Dude goes, level 100. System freaks out. Orb's gonna shrink, zoom, and wreck your face. If you panic, smash that quit key, okay? Owls thinks, how OP do you gotta be for this mess? Whoosh. Light buzzes his ear. Argo yells, yo, hero. Bust all 1000 orbs. Zap or punch him. Same deal as before. No AoE cheese. Get hit 10 times? You're donezo. Oz fires off 3 wind blasts instantly, slicing him up, realizing he needs speed or his mana tank goes dry. He's like, okay, full send mode. Summons wind shanks that actually pop the targets. Brain goes, making him huge and sharp. Clutch. Then realizes he's basically smurfing a noob tut. Argo gives props for beating 100. Flat on his back, Oz wheezes, okay-ish warm up. Thinks new gen mages grind like crazy. And the skill ceiling is sky high now. So gotta grind harder and bulk up on food. Cue Veronica walking in, shocked you came. Oz goes, just getting a head start. He calls Vera, but she snaps, thought you ghosted me. Oz shrugs, nah, just visiting, you know? Healthy mana equals buff bod. That's my vibe. She roasts him. Stole that from Sage? You eat weird shrooms? Wonders why he's ripping off sages. Quote, and why this snobby jerk who hated on her noble status suddenly got a personality swap. Tells Argo, load level 50 warm-up. Asks if Killian is still top dog. Argo's sneaky, new update. She says pull it up. Spots AA on the board. Who's that guy? Argo blocks her, privacy settings locked. An elder? She thinks. Nah, no way. Gotta be under level 5 to rank. Dude beat the 10-minute demon. Argo adds, first ever. She demands a name, system spams the privacy error. Was it Oscar? Argo stonewalls her again. Meanwhile, our guy struts down the hall, fearing soreness, then bumps into Maxim. Oz says hi, Elder goes, perfect timing. He's gotta ask him a thing, saying Fidelina claims shops ghosted their potions. Bet it's the Azure Towers drama. Since Oscar's on the production crew, he must know the tea. Oscar dips, totally salty, thinking about those losers, wondering why the coffee queue is insane today. Rando student says an email blasted the precinct. Posts 1 to 5, asking if he heard they're getting more cash starting now. Oscar asks if they're delivery guys. His buddy says they're finally scoring a win. The mage thinks too. Himself, delivery gigs are lame, cause you need a massive squad. Pays trash, zero clout, and the only perk is getting likes from locals. A redhead runner claims the boomers feed him cause they're hustling hard. That bit piqued Oscar's interest. He asks, yo, on runs, do you actually see folks face to face much? Runners go, totes. Gotta get a signature on the box or it didn't happen. Mage says big ups and thanks him. He bolts while Hamel sums up student deets. Asks if Oscar's down for deliveries. Mage is all, let's go. Gramps says since shops basically flopped hard. Planned to sell direct, but stock rotted till Oscar yelled he's cooking something fresh. Hums. All about that newness. Kids like, chill, it's just mid-tier heels popping off at the White Tower. We can remix this juice into 4 versions for diff ages and genders. Oscar's own is out. Brainstorming 4 mixes to really vibe with the normies. Later, some geezer on a bench gripes he's ancient and running on fumes. Delivery dude walks up like, yo, glad you survived yesterday. Got mail for ya. Gramps grins, thinking, sick. The homies are still breathing. Guy says it's from the Centennial crew. Gramps is like, the who? I'm only 80. Groans his head's heavy cause he's drained. Delivery bro sees his shot. Asks Pops, why not try this? Whips out a potion. Fresh drop from my tower, a boost called S0. That's a wrap. If you vibed with this, smash like and sub right now. Catch ya later.